generation is somebody who got it 3.5 years. If you compare the performance of Sandy Bridge to 3 years old computer like Core 2 Duo, this is the numbers that you'll see. You'll see 800% faster when you are trying to run Excel spreadsheet, or 300% when you are trying to do slideshow. Now, can you see the difference? Guys, you will see the difference. And it's not about the performance, it's about user experience, about the responsiveness. It's about how fast you'll be able to do things. And guys, the minute you'll be able to use this, you'll never be able to even watch or go back here. So you're ours. But definitely we need to make sure that you practice it. But it's amazing, and I fully support what Paul said. Yes, we did it, etc. But this is really a step function in the microprocessor design, and I believe this is something phenomenal. Okay, I'm already 10 minutes into my presentation, and we didn't do any demos. So let's go and look some demos. Hi, Marley. Why don't we start the demos, and while the demos are running, let's speak about it. So the count of 3 or whatever you want to count. Okay? Why don't you start the demos?
All right, we've got the demo started. Actually, what we're going to show is a little bit of a performance demo, and we're running an application called Cinebench that allows us to show the threading performance of these 3 different systems.
So the first one is synthetic. In a moment, we'll go to most user-friendly. But actually, Cinebench, it's utilized 100% of the performance that every microprocessor can have. And we've got 3 systems. The left system
is the 2nd generation Core i7.
Sandy Bridge, the middle one.
The middle one is last year's Core, previous generation.
The best microprocessor in the world until today. This is the middle one. And the right one
is the 3-year-old Core 2 Duo system.
Okay, so what we see over here is that we are rendering a 3D pictures. We can see on the widget the turbo, so we see that all the systems are running in turbo mode in order to deliver performance on demand. And the idea, finish the task as fast as possible, deliver back the response, go to sleep, and save power. And indeed, you can see that the system on the left is pretty soon going to finish it. You can look at the turbo widget, 2.6 gigahertz, and you see the minute it will finish, it will drop down the frequency, go to sleep, and start saving battery life. I believe we're going to be there pretty soon. It's green. By the way, you can have this widget, definitely technology friendly. And if you look at the middle, you see the system is still working. This is the last year system, and if I look at 3 years old system, you can imagine how much time you need to wait. But this is synthetic. Can you show me something which is kind of more user experience?
Yeah, something that would be a more everyday usage model. So why don't we pull up an application called Lightroom. It's a sort of a prosumer image editing application. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fire off a filter on a set of images, and it's going to basically do some retouching of the photos to kind of improve these portraits.
So look at the bars. The bars show you how fast it's done. He called it filters and all this kind of thing. Guys, you take a face and you just try to make it more beautiful. It's the same way they used to have the eye. We want to get rid of a red eye. Here we are trying to get a face and beautify it, have a better memories of ourselves. Sandy Bridge system already finished. The other one is still working. Can you show us side by side? Look at this and look at this. This was done real time, as you've seen, in order to try to go, and it's complicated because not only that's beautifying the face, when you look at your eyelashes, hair, etc., it needs to know not to touch it. Actually, I believe it's impressive, no? Ladies, I want to hear you. But the lawyers will ignore this. The truth of the matter, I wanted to use it and say, can you beautify my face? But the comment was that he needs to wait for the next generation of cinema. So I gave up, and I promised to remind him during the ranking and rating session. All right, let's go on. Let's look at photo and video management. We say that today, we collectively look at our history in some emails, but mainly photos and videos. And the problem is, how can we find them? You know, I've got these piles of photos and videos from my son bar mitzvah, from my trip to the Philippines, or to Vietnam, or to Myanmar, or whatever. And here we've got another. How do you find it? I remember I have it someplace. And the idea was, let's try to repeat the way that our mind works. And the way that we look at our history is through lenses. We look at the faces Yes, I remember that I met my wife there, and it's about my wife. Remember by places, you know, I was in India, and we remember dates. You know, in 1977, I remember that. It's faces, it's places, and it's dates. And we say, let's try to see if we can manage all this huge database that we've got, and this database is growing because you've seen the number of pictures that we upload. Can we manage it in a nice way? The required performance is huge, but the end user should not be aware of it, needs only to look at the experience. So what we have over here is a software that we developed in order to look into it. And what we see over here, if they'll screen it, yeah, we can see that this is the way that our memory works. This is the places, this is the calendar, and this is the faces. First of all, let me try to remember I was in Myanmar. So I'm going to Myanmar, and let me try to look into it. And it was February 2007, and yes, I see something I remember. I don't need the map anymore. Let's get rid of the map. And we can see it. We can see these places and going and see the exact locations. Now, I remember also that in 2007, and now I'm not speaking about places, I was somewhere climbing in Machu Picchu. I can look at 2007, I can look at June timeframe. I open June timeframe. Everybody can see Machu Picchu over here. But I would highly recommend it. Camino de Linca, it's a very nice trail. But over there was a beautiful carnival, and I remember that I shot a beautiful clip. So I'm trying to look into it, and when I'll try to look into it, you'll see that I can stream more than 60 videos at the same time over to the screen. Guys, we are speaking user experience, but you need Sandy Bridge class of performance in order to try to deliver it. And without going into any detail, I believe there are many devices that will not be able to do it. And yes, this is the clip that I was looking for. Let me open the clip. And now we can look at it. This is the thing that I was looking in order to be able to watch it and enjoy it. So this is the calendar. And as I said before, this is the places, the location. This is what I tried to show you. The places that I was in Myanmar, which is not very friendly to me, but eventually it will do it, yes. And we go, and this is again that I showed. I go by places, by the map, and again, this is Bagan, the beautiful place with the temple, and again, you can look into it. So the idea remains, let's give the performance, or let's deliver the experience that once you're looking for something, you can look it based on location, based on faces, or based on places, and now it's trivial to do it, but you need a lot of performance in order to be able to deliver this great experience. Another technology that we mentioned is quick sync video. Again, I remember 4.5 years ago, somebody had to come and say, guys, we are going to exchange files between different devices, and while doing it, we need to do transcoding. So again, let me ask you a question. How many people here are using transcoding? Raise your hand. How many people here are not using transcoding? Raise your hand. It's okay, don't be ashamed, it happens. Okay, how many people are downloading music or video from the PC to their iPhone or iPod? Raise your hand. Surprise, this is transcoding. You take one format, in this case MPEG, and you change it to H.264, but it doesn't matter for consumer. You just download it. How many people take a 3D or 2D video with your Sony camcorder and download it to the PC? Raise your hand. That's transcoding. Because Sony is done in one format, you need to change the format to encode and decode. This is transcoding. We believe that it will be pervasive. People will use it a lot. And for that reason say, is there any way to accelerate it? And when we speak about accelerating transcoding, we are not speaking about 1x, 2x, 3x, or 4x. In March, I was in Vietnam. I took 1 hour pictures with my video camcorder. It took me 1 hour to download it. I don't have the time. I want to do it in 10 minutes. I want to do it faster. And the challenge to the team was, can you do it 10 times faster? And the answer for the team, yes. It will be a challenge, but we can do it. So what we have over here is a system. Let's look at the system of two systems side by side. doing transcoding.